Good evening. My name is Ming Zhang from Momentum Learning. Today we're going to have the seminar on about our classes and our curriculum design at Momentum Learning. Today's topic would be Python and AI for high school students. We had the question about our classes, computer science classes. Many times students and parents would ask, what is the recommendation for language? Should I take the Java class or should I take the Python class, or sometimes should I learn C++ for certain tasks? So here's a comparison of the three most popular languages now. Python would be the easiest to get started. It is simpler, shorter. Learning curve would be with the smallest slope. So you can start from nothing, especially for students without prior training of computer science, computer programming. You can start from there and then get pretty comfortable, fluent in programming using Python in a short period of time. Java would take a longer time. The code would be shorter, would be longer in general. Java is also the language so far still used in the APCS curriculum. If your child takes the APCS A class, then still that's the language to learn. And also in the AP exam, the APCS A still would use Java. This has been the case. We have also give the feedback to College Board saying Python is more popular. So can they change that one to Python? Actually, this was not the first time they make the switch. Before 2004, actually the exam and also the test were administrated using C++ and then changed to C++. Hopefully in the very near future, this will change to Python. And also for C++, this one would run the fastest among all the three ones, but it will take a longer time to get fluent. It is compared to these two, it will be relatively lower level language. Beginner or learner, right, would spend more time to get used to the details. While in Java and Python, especially Python, you don't normally need to take care of the details. For applications, well, this one now would be more appropriate for the contest, especially the competitive programming contest. So USCO is definitely there. And later, if a child in college right wants to participate the contest ICPC, that's also the first language. The majority of students in CP would use C++ because it is fast. Java still would be used in a lot of projects development, especially large project. That may change soon also, depending on the development in the Python language. Python now, if you talk about AI, talk about machine learning, then the first language coming up would be Python. Today, we're going to talk about how to get your students started in Python and also use the preparation for AI, the classes in middle school, high school, and later, maybe going to the research project phase that we have at Momentum Learning. We have these classes at Momentum Learning. For middle schoolers, we have Python A, Python B, and also AI A and AI B. Okay, we're gonna have the details in the next part of the presentation. And then today we're going to focus on the curriculum for high school students. First, we're going to provide the class for students that had no prior experience in computer programming, but can pick Python from zero experience or from pretty much a little experience. And then with the preparation, then students can take the AI class for high school students. And for advanced students can take this advanced AI. The middle school students, the classes for middle school students in Python and also AI would be taught by Mr. Durham. So the focus for Python A and B would be simple and make it easier to get started. Many students were still not familiar with the concepts of variables, functions. So when they come to this class, they need the time to get used to the idea, to use variables, to do calculations and write functions, write classes, objects like that. So even though it will be very fundamental, but they step into the world of computer programming. So we have the specific plan for each week and also for the progress. This would be a 1 year class, 1 semester for Python A, the next semester for Python B. Also for AI, for middle school students, actually AI would be a little bit harder to teach. Anyway, if a student right, wants to do some true research in AI, then must have some math background. So in the design, we're going to briefly introduce the concepts for each technique concept. We're going to illustrate with the examples, but not going to do deep study or analysis. Students will learn how to say connect data, how to clean, and do some data analysis, find out maybe some pattern, maybe obvious, maybe not, sometimes not so obvious. And they're going to present a project that they decide. The second part, they're going to work on more the AI part, try to write or develop their own AI. So maybe they're going to build a user interface for the project they choose, and also try some projects like voice recognition. That would be interesting for most students. And also try to show how they implement the AI ideas. For example, right, having some data, how to find out the pattern and how to use the AI concepts, try to make sure my pattern is actually indeed correct. If I'm given with some test data, right, how does it work? Is the prediction accurate or not? So we're going to have that one. So as I said earlier, right, so this part would be rather elementary, since most students at middle school, right, don't have much deeper understanding in math that is behind the AI development. Okay, using AI and also developing AI would be different. So middle schoolers most likely will be using the AI. So if a technique involves deep math, then we're going to provide the modules. So they're going to use them. All right, so that is for the middle school students. For high school students, here I want to provide a perspective that we look at AI in the next decade. It is still new. Many people are still trying to understand what is AI and how do we take advantage of the development. It is getting very fast. Actually, after the introduction of ChatGPT 2022, things have changed a lot. This is probably right the experience for most people. Things around us, maybe in our job or outside of the job, right? We have seen a lot of changes. Sometimes we are very impressed. Sometimes maybe we're shocked. Okay, so now one question pretty much everybody wants to ask is, well, what is the future for AI? And what are the developments that we can anticipate for AI in the next 10 years, or maybe even further at 20 years? Anyway, for our children, their generation, right, next 10, 20, 30 years, would it be for them? So if they can have a good preparation, so they're going to have a bright future in the next 20, 30 years. So here's what we vision the AI. So you may disagree, but that's okay. As I said, right, AI now it is on the rapid evolution. So we would start from narrow AI. So here, when we say narrow AI, well, we say they have limited flexibility. So if you remember right at the beginning, well, when we talk about, say, Siri, that is actually AI. But those kind of AI would have very limited flexibility. That means they cannot do too much. And many times, even though they do something, you cannot really trust them, or you cannot put 100% trust on the answers or the solutions they provide. We're still working on that one. Actually, many AI products would belong to that one. Voice recognition actually would be a good example. Now, if you go to a shop, right? I think Texas Church, the chicken restaurant, right? If you order, actually, they would use the voice recognition as the tool. So you don't see the person actually standing behind the window to take your order. Actually, AI will take your order. Actually, that has been pretty successful. So that is one good example for narrow AI. We do have others that is going on. So these two actually would be classified as the current development cognitive AI. So this is many students actually in STEM would experience. So this is referring to the AI that would have the ability for human reasoning, learning, and also understanding. This one probably would be, say, ChatGPT can understand some of the conversation and actually can do some reasoning. This part actually is on very active research development. Actually, not only that one, many students have experienced. If you ask those AI a math problem, right? Actually, it can solve it. Actually, can do very well. Many schools actually have taken steps, right? If a student used AI to solve the problems, work on homework, or even quizzes, tests, right? That would be a violation or not allowed. But anyway, that is a tool. Actually, cognitive AI is getting better every day, and many people are shocked, right? We have seen AI can write essays, but can they solve a problem using logical reasoning and understand the context? That is getting a lot of attention. The next one would be physical AI. I know many people would laugh that, okay, AI still is far away. Well, one example would be many of the families, right? Many houses have the vacuum cleaner. So from our experience, it's not going to do well, right? Maybe sometimes you say, okay, a lot of AI, if you ask them to do the physical motion, then you say, okay, that probably will be called electronic arm rather than AI, but that is catching up. Well, a lot of other issues, not only for the algorithms, for the computational part, right? Physical AI actually has a lot of other parts. Say, for example, safety. One example would be the autonomous vehicles, AV. So it has been tested. Actually, Waymo from Google, right, has been doing that one. Now, NVIDIA actually is working with Uber and others, right, to try to develop the autonomous vehicle. But still, a big issue is, well, how safe they are. Can we trust those physical AI on streets? So that would be another issue. And also for those energy consumption would be another issue. So beyond the computer science field, a lot of other things. And in the near future, actually, many people are talking about, especially after the current conference for CES, many people talking about agentic AI. That is, well, can we build the agents that will do the job for us? They are like agents, but they are AI. So for example, if I want to make a trip, my agent, normally my travel agent will make a plan. So maybe booking the tickets and also booking the hotel and maybe driving, right? Renting cars and so on. For human agent, it can do that one. The agent can do this, but for AI agent, how can that work? Well, it is much more complicated than the cognitive AI. Normally, this will be a very specific task, and agentic AI would involve multiple tasks. And we want to have this AI to help us, but without constant human intervention. So you don't want to give orders to the AI to do this, to do that, right? Hopefully, the AI will do the job, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3, and if something does not go through, can also find a solution to make it going through. So this actually would be very important. Maybe it will come before the truly success of the physical AI. Anyway, some of these agents, right, they don't have to be physical. So this may come earlier. But this one may involve multiple tasks or different domains. So AI may have to possess expertise in different fields. So that may come in different formats. So it is a race between the physical and agentic AI. And then these two actually would be still theoretical. The AGI, or people call general AI, so that is artificial general intelligence. This one, it's still ongoing, and we put this one theoretical. Actually, here, many people are guessing, right, if we want to make this truly happening, so the AI would behave like a human with general AI that may come much later than these. Why? Because we need a lot more computational power. The hardware industry now is working very hard to provide the foundation for that one. And of course, right after this one, then we talk about super intelligent AI that is even more powerful than the general AI. Again, that one is also theoretical. And actually, when we talk about AGI and also super intelligent AI, then one issue, of course, would come up, that is the ethics. How can you make sure your AI would only do good things, but not the bad things? So far, we don't have that issue yet, because no AI would be that powerful that can easily escape the control from human, right? One easy way would be say, okay, if you cut off the power, then the AI cannot work, cannot function. So if we reach that level of AGI and super intelligent AI, that would be pretty much like the movie Matrix. So robots or the AI can think, can behave independently from human. Well, let's not worry about that now. So in the next 10, 20, 30 years, right, how should we work with AI, or how do we treat AI? So here's again, our perspective here. So treat AI as a GT child, gifted and a talented child, but not an adult. Okay, when we talk about AI, many people will say, okay, this one does not work. This one is still, kind of silly, right? Stupid. Okay, maybe this is this, similar when you talk about, a GT child. Maybe will perform in some specific fields, but lack broad maturity. So maybe the AI, maybe the GT child, right, can do so well in one subject, but will be lagging behind than their peers. So this is similar, right? We have seen this one. So if you open your ChatGPT and ask a question, if it is STEM, if it is a knowledge-based problem, right, it can answer the question so quickly. But if you twist the problem a little bit, then it may give you a wrong answer, or it does not know what to do. So it will tell you, okay, I don't know what to do, or I don't understand what you're talking about. So it's possible. So this is like that one. And also the AI would improve over time, just like a GT child, but it needs training and also feedback. If you look closely, the development of AI is very like the GT, the child. So when the baby, right, was born, baby does not understand anything, will just eat and sleep, right? Gradually, the baby will hear and see something and try to interact with parents, with people around, then kind of get the impression, right? Can smile, can cry, and whatever, right? And gradually, when the child gets more experience, then can understand, can learn how to speak, learn how to write, how to argue, how to interact. So that's the same as AI. So we would regard, right, maybe when ChatGPT first came out and shocked everyone, that's probably would be, say, when the baby learned how to say mama. Or maybe some say, okay, it's more than that, right? The kid can do addition. Say 2 plus 5, that's 7. So that shocked the parent. Okay, Jack can do addition now. So that's the same reaction. Okay, later, right, when a child needs to grow to be more and more intelligent, right, the same, we need training, we need feedback. The same, the AI also needs the training. But the training is, well, through more data, through more feedback. It knows what is a right answer or what is a wrong answer. Or sometimes this one is not logical. But many times you think AI would be kind of weird, would be so, okay, the answer or the feedback, right, does not make sense, is illogical, does not make any sense. So if we can eliminate or reduce those kind of interaction, then you would say, okay, the AI is actually truly intelligent. And also for AI, we need guidance. Just like a GT child, right? We need to guide the child to go in the right direction, not in the wrong direction. And also we need to participate. So our suggestion for parents, for students toward AI would be, say, grow together. For parents, grow together with your child. For students, right, grow together with your friend. Okay, treat AI as your GT child or treat AI as your friend, or sometimes maybe best friend. Now, I would recommend for many students, if you need to answer to a certain question that you have, right, maybe you can check with AI. So earlier, maybe you say, okay, I'm going to Google, I'm going to search around. Now, besides Google, right, you can also ask AI. But of course, right, you have to be careful. Not everything you get from AI is correct. So you must have to exercise the caution. So check it with more than one source. And also you can discuss with other people, right? Especially discuss with the people that you trust. This is also the case. I know many students have tried given the homework project, right? We just ask AI for the answer. Well, sometimes the answers are correct. Sometimes the answers are wrong. So if you copied the answer or copy the solution, you better understand when you ask, right? How did you come up with this way? You better be able to explain. Or in the process, right? If you try to understand the answer or the process, you actually try to learn it, or you actually can learn it in the process. So AI would be your good friend, actually best friend, but please check the answers or the feedback or the reply from your good friend or best friend. Okay, with this, actually now I think our purpose or our goal for the Python classes and also the AI classes actually would make more sense. Python for high school students, as I mentioned, right? This is for students that had no or little programming experience before. So we're going to pretty much right to talk about the basics, the data types, operations, variables, input, output, and also the program flow, the loops, conditional statements, and then the strings, tuples, lists. These are the very basic tools. And then we're going to also introduce sets and dictionaries. Normally, for other languages, Java and C++, we would not introduce these concepts and tools in the first semester. So this will just be one semester, because normally it would take longer time to get used to these tools and basic concepts. So the data structures, sets, and maps, right, would be introduced later. Since Python has a simpler syntax, so we're going to put them together. From our experience, one semester actually would be enough. And we would also cover the object-oriented programming. Even though Python came from a language that is not object-oriented, rather it is more interpretive. So earlier, right, people would write one command and then say run it and get the results, and then say another command and run it. So that's interpretive or interactive. But now the compiled version, so you can write the program that consists all the commands, put them in one file or program, right? And it's okay, ask the computer to run it. So that will make it running faster because you don't have to go through the type in and run it, type in and run it, right? Even though that was the initial design for Python, but now we can also write Python programs and then ask it to run it together. We would also introduce the modules. That would be just preparation for our next step. Okay, as I said, right, many students, high school students, would be able to finish all these topics in one semester. We have tried, that has been pretty consistent. So we would keep this one here. And then we're going to spend more time for the AI class for high school students. Here, the 4 big parts or components would be, first, we're going to make sure everyone is familiar with the basics. So we're going to cover all these ones we just talked about, and then we're going to assume students would get experience with the modules, so NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. So these are for data processing and also rendering. So if a student needs to show the results, right, he or she can draw the pictures and show it, and also make animation. So these would be important. We would also spend time to experience the AI, especially generative AI. So we're going to use it to, as many people have done, right? We're going to ask AI to write essay. You can ask it, right? Actually, AI would be so fast. Given some idea, and it will be able to write an essay for you. One example would be say, okay, how do you write a good resume? So this is interesting. Many times, actually, the AI generated by the resume generated by your AI actually would be even better than yours. And it will ask you for more information if you don't provide enough, the data inside there. So that is actually very helpful. I'm pretty sure many parents have done that too, right? Using AI to check your essay, check your manuscript, your report, and also we're going to do this one for video and audio data. So you can ask AI to compose music, write a song for you, and also to generate pictures. Later last year, both ChatGPT and also Gemini from Google, right, have opened that feature. So you can ask them to generate images. Actually, we have tried to ask students, write a picture book. So you just need to give some brief idea, and ask AI to generate the picture book, maybe 10 pages, maybe 20 pages, and it will write the words for you and also generate the pictures. So that is a nice, students need to experience the power of the tools. So that is still to use the AI. And then the second part 3, part 4, we're going to do the data mining and also the machine learning. Okay, the part here, we're going to train students to gather the data, right? That part, actually, we have done it in the middle school curriculum. So now we're going to apply the same technique. If you want to analyze data, right, first you have to gather the data. Sometimes the data is not complete or is not clean. So you have to be able to learn the techniques to clean the data. Only work on the data that has been pre-processed. Okay, that is also important. And then we're going to find out correlation, the patterns. That would be easy part. You can apply the well-established tools to find out those pattern or correlation. And then we're going to learn more techniques, more advanced techniques. So clustering would be a good one. Many students actually have found that fascinating. So they can just apply the tricks, the concepts for the data. Well, some of the techniques would be easy to explain, but many of them actually would be hard. So we're going to just encapsulate the tools in modules, in packages. So they'll just apply the tricks. So that will be still the pattern we have showed before, right? So if the math or the underlying mechanism is too complicated to be explained in the class, then we're going to just assume students will use them. Okay, this is actually a mindset that we're going to take for this AI class. Actually, many students, not say right in high school, actually many times even in college, If they don't have the preparation, then we're going to assume students will just use the tool. That is actually the attitude for many engineers, right? I don't have to understand the details, but if I know how to use a module, a package, right, then that's fine. Okay, so here we're going to introduce some tools, ask students to understand the mechanism, but for many others, right, we're going to ask them to learn how to use them. And then the last part, actually, we're going to do the game theory, decision making. From our experience, this part actually is the most interesting one. So for example, right, we're going to ask students to add the AI player for some simple games. Could it be, say, tic-tac-toe, could it be Connect 4 or others? So normally for these games, if you have two human players, right, you can just simulate. Okay, player one, player two, they're going to just alternate the turn and then record the results and see who is better, right? Out of 100 games, player one won, say, 52%, player two won 40%, and then the rest would be tied, right? Like this one, then winner, right? Player A would be more powerful or stronger than player two. So that is one thing. And we're going to gradually add more AI component. So we're going to assume one human player will play against a computer player. The computer player, we're going to add more. So first, we'll just play again using the rules, whatever the game they're using. And then we're going to add the logical reasoning. So a common strategy would be the minimax algorithm. So we're going to introduce that one. To put it easy, right, we're going to simulate. So if I play this, my opponent will play that one, and then I will play another one. So we're going to imagine after 5 steps, what will happen? Well, for a human being, right, thinking 5 steps ahead would be hard. But sometimes using a computer, right, 5 steps ahead, actually, it's not a big deal. Of course, right, if you make it more steps, right, then it will take much longer time to calculate, and also takes a lot of space to store the results. So that is actually related to what we have been doing at the moment, right, for intensive calculation or for CP. Okay, we're not going to stress too much on that one, but introduce the idea. So we're going to add a AI player many times as we increase the number of steps or add more parameters. Very soon, the human player cannot beat the AI player. And then we're going to use the AI player many times, would be better, right, to simulate. Why we do this one here? This is not just we're going to add the AI player for decision making. That's not the whole thing. Actually, we're going to make this class more interesting in a way. So we have such AI player. Then we're going to ask AI player to simulate the game, not for, say, 10 more games, 100 games. Actually, we can ask it to simulate for maybe, say, 1 million games. Okay, if you play the game by human players, right, this will be impossible to play, say, 1 million games in a semester. But if you ask your AI to play, that is actually much faster. And then the purpose for these simulation would be they're going to record the results. So if you make this move and in this game status, right, it will end up winning maybe 80% of the time. If you make another move, right, it will win maybe only 20% of the time. So we're going to build the database for each move. What is the chance of winning? And then we're going to build AI agent here. So this AI agent actually does not know how to play it, does not know how to play the game, has no idea what it is going on, but it will just check the database. So if we present the status of the game to the agent and say, okay, this is your turn. What is your suggestion for the next move? So the agent will search in the database, find out the move with the highest probability of winning, and then recommend, okay, that is the move. Or sometimes we'll provide more than one choices, right, if they are equally good. So that is actually the AI product. So I talked about earlier, right? So that is an agent. So going back to the example I showed earlier for the agentic AI here, so that is kind of similar. So the AI does not know what is going on, but it will just find out information to answer your questions. For high school students, it will be hard to make it one more step ahead. Again, we have found if you really want to do some deep data mining, machine learning, then a student must have to spend quite some effort, right, in say linear algebra to work with matrix multiplication, and has to spend quite some effort in statistic for Markov chain. But that is pretty much impossible for a high school student, right, to work on them, even for college students, unless they have taken those classes in math department, stat department, or computer science department. Without those preparation, right, they cannot really understand the mechanism, the underlying philosophy. So we're going to show the students, so you can build an agent. So your agent actually can check different databases, right? Maybe Jack has a database in that way, and then John has a different database in that way. But we're going to use the database and find out what is, the best move, or what is a good move for the next step. Okay, that is AI for high school students, and we found that is quite fascinating, especially when we have found AI is getting smarter and smarter. So how do we show that is, how do we actually experience, as I said, right, we're going to grow together with the AI. So if we can think about some ways and build some tools, some agents like this one, we can actually like breathe together with them, we grow together with them. Another step actually beyond this one would be the advanced AI. Normally this would be research based. So if some students, high school students, want to do further training in AI, then we're going to basically try these different aspects. So one thing that we have put in action is, well, for stock movement prediction. Now, many people are worried, right? Maybe in the next 10, 20, 30 years, right? I don't need a financial advisor. Maybe the AI can help me. So this is one idea we have been working on. You're going to get the data from the stock market and try to study the pattern. I know this is hard, right? If it is easy, then we're not going to be here, right? Then the market will change. But anyway, it is interesting. And we have some data that has been connected and then some tools being developed. So if students want to do this one, that would be interesting. This actually we tried, but it turned out to be very hard. A lot of factors for the weather prediction, weather forecast, and we cannot collect the complete data, or most of the data. Too many factors that we don't know. So that would be much harder. And another part would be the biomedical data analysis. This is interesting, and with some the application that you may find very interesting, right? If you can find the pattern for certain disease prevention or treatment, right, that would be very nice. Maybe even more meaningful for stock movement prediction. But anyway, if a student can spend one semester or even longer to develop some tools and find some success, not complete success, right? We don't expect that would be the case. But if your pattern, if your tool says, right, okay, we can, under certain restriction, under these scenarios, our prediction is accurate, then that's also fine. Just like the medical data, biomedical data analysis, right? If we see a patient falls into this category, we're going to find out, the treatment outcome or the prevention outcome. So that would be very nice. You don't treat, all the patients. That's unrealistic. But if you can make a accurate prediction for certain, sub population, that would be nice. Actually, very nice. Okay, so we hope some students will find out this interesting. All right, okay, that is our structure for AI classes. That's for middle school students, that's for high school students, and leading up to the advanced AI project-based research. Also, we still have the user training at Momentum Learning. We have been doing this one for the past 10 plus years. So we normally do this one using Java and C++, but now you can also do this for Python. Python would be good for bronze level. Going up, silver level and up, right? We actually would recommend using Java or C++ because Python still would be just too slow. But now we have found a way if you can write your code in Python and then you can use AI to translate for you, that will take no time. So now that one has been made easier. So now we say, okay, for all these use code classes, you can write in Python. For bronze, you just submit your code in Python. That's fine. For silver and up, first you write your code in Python and then just ask AI to translate to Java or C++. Many times the translation would be very good quality, very high quality. So don't worry about it. If you say Python is too slow, but after translation, right, it will run much faster. So now we also put that one into the user training. Actually, for all our classes, the solutions, right, we would present either in Java, C++, or Python. And any student with prior training in any language would be okay. So that is not a big issue. Going back to the question that I discussed at the very beginning, right? What language would it be best for the tasks, right? Now with the AI translation, actually does not make much difference. Actually, we also predict, right? Maybe in 5 years, 10 years, actually, you don't have to learn any of these languages. Why? Because you can communicate with the computer, right? With the human language. Just like now, if you talk to ChatGPT, if you talk to Bard or Gemini or Bing, right? You can just talk in human language. It understands you. Sometimes maybe not exactly. You have to go back and forth. But here is the thing, right? With the AI now, how to ask questions actually would become important. So that brings up a topic we say prompt engineering. How to ask the questions to the AI so that it can understand you the best and give you the best result. That becomes now important. If you just, okay, I have no idea what to do and just ask the question, and then the AI probably does not know what to do, or even it gives some information, right? You don't know whether it is correct or not. So maybe in the next 10, 20 years, right, we're going to change the computer programming completely. So we're going to ask questions with the computer, right, in human language, but you still have to understand how to do it. Just like say, I want a computer to do it for me to write a program to solve the problem, but still you have to tell it what to do. Maybe the AI, right, does not have the expertise to solve your specific problem. You have to know at least, right, the big picture, step 1, step 2, step 3, and guide through. Okay, once we finish part of step 1, right, I know the result is correct, then I'm going to move on to step 2 and so on. So I want to answer some, the question from many parents that have asked, right? Now, AI is so popular, right? And the CS actually is getting less important. Is that the case? Actually, our answer is actually the opposite. Maybe the low level of programmer job actually would be replaced by AI, but the higher level jobs actually would be even more challenge. So the students today, actually, you have to learn more to be more advanced. So maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? Many problems we thought would be out of the capacity. We could not solve them. But now some problems, actually, we want to solve them. So we're going to leave the details for the AI to the computer, but we're going to work hard on the higher level, the design part. So I would say the AI does not eliminate the jobs, actually would create more jobs, more work for us. So we still have to learn how to solve problems, but in a different level. So just like many people say, right? What I know is a circle, right? If I know more, then circle gets bigger, then the questions outside, right, will be the unknowns. So the more I know, the more I don't know. So the more I need to solve. So that's the case also here. So hopefully, if a student writer today gets better preparation, and hopefully in the next 10, 20 years later, right, would be in the right time for AI and also machine learning. All right. Okay. With this, I'll stop my seminar. And if you have any question, I'll be happy to answer them. One question says, are the classes online? Yes. At Momentum Learning, all our classes in the fourth semester, spring semester, would be online. Only in summer camps, some of the camps would be on site, but most still would be online. From our experience, for younger students, elementary school students, online classes may be hard, but for here high school students, actually online would not be an issue. Do we have homework? Another question. Yes, for all the classes we have homework. All the homework actually would be posted at Canvas. As parents, right, you can check the progress for your student. There is another one. Okay, I'll try to answer this one here. How you teach AI without deep understanding? Well, sometimes that's how life works, right? Even for the developers, we're very clear on the part that we develop, but for some other parts, right, we're going to just assume our teammates are doing a good job, right? We're going to trust them and then just use their work. So I think that is fine. So for students, especially college, pre-college students, right? We cannot expect them to have the complete understanding of the mathematics or the the mechanism. If they can use it, right, that's fine. This is actually the case for computer science. Okay, when we learned computer science, well, a long time ago, we wrote in assembly language. So we need to send instructions to the specific components in the computer. Nowadays, right, if you write a program, you don't. So actually we have assumed, right, those parts will be done beneath. So we don't understand how it was done, but we're going to assume, right, it would get it done correctly. So we just say, do this, do that. So write a loop, right, it will just do this one. Okay, so I think that's okay. Later, if they want to learn more, want to understand the true mechanism, they, in college and later in their job, right, they can spend more time and then learn by themselves. And actually now it will be much easier, right, with AI help. Many people have said, right, okay, in the past 2 days, right, I have finished one subject. Normally that would take one semester, but AI would be so powerful, helpful. So it took me only 2 days. Another question here, 8th grade. Yeah, okay, that's fine. When we say, right, high schoolers, we just want to make sure the students have finished the preparation. If a parent or student, right, not so sure, just can talk to me. So I can help you to make sure that you are ready for the classes. Oh, for that one, that would be the last one, the research-based here, advanced AI. So normally that would be used, right, for students trying to apply for colleges, universities, right? We can put that one in your resume, and that will make it shiny, attractive. All the classes are 12-week long, and every week, right, we're going to meet for 2 hours. This is the contact at Momentum, the front desk, the email, and then the pathway to advanced AI. Then we would expect students to finish the Python programming and also have the AI for high school students, and then would go to the AI project class. Okay, I think that would be good. And if you have any further question, right, again, you can always contact our front desk.